The IEC is in the electoral court, being challenged by Action SA after their name was left off the ward candidate list. We're joined now by Naledi Modise. She's a political analyst with the Northwest University. She's also part of eNCA's election analyst team. Naledi, welcome. Great to chat to you. Let's pick up on Action SA first of all. And the latest that we have from that court process, we haven't seen any conclusion as yet. But one of the suggestions from Action SA is that they put a stamp to identify that the ward candidate is in fact from Action SA, to avoid the very real possibility that those ballot papers would have to be reprinted. What do you make of the way the IEC has handled this issue?
Good evening, Sally, and good evening to the eNCA viewers. I don't really have a problem with the way in which the IEC has handled this case and conversation with Action SA, because Action SA, I think the interesting thing is Action SA is saying that, or they're arguing that their name meets the 8-character list that is required by the IEC to be put on as the abbreviation. And in the application that the IEC received, they're saying that Action SA, they wrote not applicable there. So I think that it speaks to now the issues around moving forward. Do political parties understand the implications of not having this this abbreviation as they would need, and what the implications will be? But most importantly, I think that this contestation would set a precedence now for political parties moving forward, that do you need an abbreviation or do you not need an abbreviation? But the IEC so far, in all of its recent court challenges, it has fared very well, and it has made relatively good decisions, and the court has not ruled against them yet. So it would be very interesting to see the outcome of this case and what it means for new political parties coming into the electoral contestation space moving forward.
But in the interest of democracy, right, South Africans need to know which political parties they're going to vote for. And that's one of the arguments Action SA is making, that they need to be identified, properly identified on a ballot paper. Should the IEC not consider that, given the interest of democracy when it comes to voting?
Well, in the ballot papers that I've seen, I think that the IEC, well, in the ballot papers, let me start there. In the ballot papers that I have seen, the IEC did place the Action SA logo on there. I think what is challenging is that it is a new political party, so it hasn't solidified itself yet in the political space. And even if people want to vote for the candidates from Action SA, if they don't recognize the logo, they might miss it. So that is maybe what they're challenging there, that if the name is not there, then they might lose out on the votes that they may have potentially garnered in the election.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what the electoral court decides, because the other option that Action SA is putting forward is, well, let's just postpone the elections. I don't think that's going to happen. Naledi, also today, of course, we're seeing politicians are crisscrossing the country. Cyril Ramaphosa is in the Western Cape. It's pretty much a DA stronghold. Do you think it's time well spent that he's in an area where he might not make much inroads?
He has to go to the Western Cape. He has to, take the election campaign there, because it would be very unfortunate if they didn't. And political parties obviously want to win votes, even if they've seen decreased support in an area. And whereas now we're seeing the DA beginning, to regress in terms of the electoral showing, even in the DA during the 2019 elections. So they feel that they may have an opportunity to make up for lost ground, or make up some lost ground that they've lost over the years, because of, that emerging and continuous critique against the DA that says that it is anti-poor. It has not done very much in the more poorer areas of the Western Cape, particularly in the city of Cape Town with the inner housing crisis there. So they have an opportunity to contest the I want to put it, quote unquote, the dominance of the DA within the Western Cape. So it would be unfortunate if he did not go. So it is a good thing that he's gone there to bring the ANC campaign to the Western Cape.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us. I'm sure we'll chat to you again in the next few days. That's Naledi Modise, a political analyst with the Northwest University. She's also part of eNCA's election analyst team.